Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's time again for another 2 monthly reading wrap-up. And this time we're looking at both September and October. These past 2 months have been a really good mix. Thoughtful science fiction, classic fantasy and also a little bit of cosmic horror to fit the October mood. I started off with Dawn, the first book in the Legend of the Galactic Heroes series by Yoshiki Tanaka. It's a fascinating kind of space opera. It's not focused on action, but more on politics, history, and the rise of two contrasting leaders, Reinhardt and Yang. And the way it's written feels almost like reading a history book from the future, which gives it a very unique tone. At times it can feel distant, but that works for the story that Tanaka is telling. You get a sense of an enormous galactic system being shaped by just a few determined people. It's a bit of a slower read, but it's full of depth and it's a great setup for the rest of the series. And next I read Contact by Carl Sagan, which provided a complete contrast to Dawn, where Legend of the Galactic Heroes looks at empires and power. Contact is about curiosity and discovery. And you can feel Sagan's love for science on every page. It's full of awe and optimism, and it even deals with big existential ideas. But it's also a bit of a slow and dry read. I really liked Ellie Arroway as the main character and how the story blends its technical parts with emotional depth. And the ending especially captures both that wonder of space and the loneliness of being human in a big universe. So overall it was worth the read. And then I moved into fantasy with The Wish Song of Shannara by Terry Brooks. It's the final part of the original trilogy, and this one feels more mature than the first two. The focus on, again, a new generation gives the world that sense of continuity, while the darker tone makes it stand out from Sword and Elfstones, the first two books. But overall I thought the story felt very safe and predictable, and I decided not to continue the Shannara series onward. And after that I went back to The Legend of the Galactic Heroes with the second book, Ambition. This one builds really well on Dawn, the first book. The political maneuvering becomes more intense, and both Reinhardt and Yang grow into their roles as leaders. The detached historical style is still there, but the pacing improves a lot, and the personal moments have a lot more weight to them. It's still not a typical character-driven novel, but I really like how Tanaka balances ideology, war and human flaws. And it's the kind of series that rewards patience. Each book adds new layers of meaning. And then I read Silverthorn, the second book in the Rift War saga. Compared to Magician, the first book, the first half of this book feels smaller in scale, but it slowly expands again toward the end. And I liked how it focused more on a personal quest while still setting up larger events for the final book. Feist World is consistent and engaging. Even when the plot slows down, it's still easy to get lost in. And it maybe is not as grand as Magician, but it's still a solid continuation that kept me excited for the third book, A Darkness at Sephanon. And when it was late October, I decided to dive into H.P. Lovecraft. I read about 10 of his short stories, and the age of these stories really shows. The writing is dense and old-fashioned, but the ideas are still powerful. That sense of cosmic insignificance, of humanity being too small to understand the universe, gives his work a distinct kind of horror. And my favorite was The Color Out of Space. It's a story about a meteorite hitting the Earth and having weird effects on everything in the surrounding area. And even though not every story completely worked for me, I really appreciated how influential his approach to atmosphere and dread has been. And finally, the last one, I finished Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. It's a very direct and fast-paced story, but it deals with some surprisingly heavy themes, like manipulation, isolation, and morality and leadership. And the battle school setting is memorable, and I liked how the story grows darker the more you think about what's actually happening. I didn't enjoy the writing itself that much, and I thought the characters were bland. The writing lacked descriptions, but it's one of those books that works both as an exciting sci-fi story and as a moral thought experiment. But overall, I thought it was a bit disappointing, especially for such a well-known classic. And that wraps up my reading for September and October. Looking back, it was a great mix, political, sci-fi, classic fantasy, and cosmic horror that fit perfectly for autumn. Next month I'll probably continue the Rift Wars saga and definitely the Legend of the Galactic Hero series. Anyway, thanks for watching, and let me know what you've been reading lately in the comments below. Until next time.